Hey y'all, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. To all of you who are returning, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. I appreciate you returning, sharing space and time with me. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for this message. Uh, for all of you that are new here, oops, I'm a sloppy reader. I drop cards everywhere. Uh, I channel in the spirit. I use various different mediums to give messages. And I just like to have a conversation with the wheat field. Check in, see how you guys are doing, see if you are identifying the tears in your life and how they are projecting back to you, what we can dig into, what we can release, and what we can do to gain that source material to allow ourselves to become good friends. Thank you, Spirit. Again, I'm just throwing cards everywhere. We'll take this as balance. Yes, balancing ourselves out. Definitely. I surround myself with people I love and I enjoy my time with them. But I also take time to nurture myself, my relationships with myself. I have found a healthy balance between being with friends and having self-care time. Are we taking time to take care of ourselves and balancing the giving that we're doing for other people and also giving onto self? Make sure that you are balancing out how you're expending that energy, making sure that you're caring for you, giving yourself time, tuning in. We talked about tuning in earlier today, appreciation, getting some mirror time with you, going in there and just stand in the mirror and say, hey, how you doing? Is there anything that you need right now? Um, yeah. Another card that came out is here. It says, my own energy. I love being there for friends and family while staying true to myself. I don't let others' energy or mood affect my own. To help a friend in a hole, I don't need to jump in the hole with them. Simply reach out a hand. It's up to them to do the rest. Now that's balance for you, right? Balancing your relationships with people and how you're caring and pouring into them. Also, again, with balancing it with your own energy, understanding that we can be helpful, we can be supportive. However, when we extend a helping hand, it's up to the other person to do the work to save themselves. Again, we have the power to save self. So we don't we look for support and we can offer support, but understanding what support looks like in an appropriate manner is something we all could probably look at a little bit closer, right? When we're helping people, are we doing that from a space that allows them to grow and feed themselves, like to be fishers themselves, or are we just simply feeding them a fish meal, right? Teaching someone to fish is much different than just feeding them for a day. We're helping each other feed themselves for a lifetime, right? Collectively, we become self sufficient and feeding back that onto other cells. Yeah, definitely is a part of our double mission. So we have, uh, but wait, there's more. This is a card that like asks you to buy more stuff, but I kept it in the deck because I just thought that that was amazing. But wait, there's more, right? So, um, yeah, that kind of goes back into teaching a person to fish for themselves. If you feed them for a day, that's today. But if you teach them to fish, then there's definitely more. The opportunity for them to fish on a daily basis and sustain themselves for a lifetime, and then expanding the skill that they just acquired into something more, growing it, right? Yeah. Next card that came out is recharge. I invite magic into my life always. Every day, I grow my connection to this earth. If I am ever feeling low, I simply step outside and appreciate the natural miracles in this life. Being in nature lifts my spirits and recharges my energy. That's beautiful. That's getting into grounding, being outside, seeing how nature, again, those cycles, uh, is visible, right? The same cycles are present in you. Nurture here is at the bottom. Great, great, great. bottom energy to nurture and recharge and take care of you, checking in, tuning in, showing self appreciation. Back to earlier, but again, that was a bit. Sorry, guys, if this is rustling. Uh, Going in and recharging and doing that within nature is a really good way to see again the systems of the Most High. We sometimes look past the body and its wonderment in itself. I thought it was pitiable that this little baby, she's like 7. It was a video, I can't remember it, but they asked her to name the 7 wonders of the world, and this little girl started naming stuff that you wouldn't even think of, right? She was naming, it's a wonder that the eyes can see. It's a wonder that we can hear the same thing. It's a wonder how I can smell and taste, like the taste buds and how they operate to distinguish different flavors. And you can, that whole immense palette that we have just off of this small organism, this organ, and how it discerns such intricate diversity in flavors and everything that comes with food is a wonder. And when we look at, we usually look, say, oh, the 7 wonders like Niagara Falls and the Grand Canyon. Those are things outside of us that we can see very obviously that it's a wonder. But we are, again, discounting the self. The outside world is reflecting to you what's going on or what is present in the inside. And tuning in and connecting to your energy source through that visual, outside visual stimulation is one of the ways we stay mindful of how powerful we are and what's really actually happening. Like, how do we connect with self? How do we connect with spirit and everything around us and other selves? How do we wield our power? How do we stay balanced? How do we monitor what we're pouring out and what we're pouring in, right? Making sure that we're pouring in daily, feeding self, nourishing self, and then becoming so full that we can nourish other selves. And the best way to do that is, yeah, tuning in, appreciating you. Spend time in that mirror, y'all. Do some self affirmations. Those I am statements. Get in the mirror and tell yourself who you are. Get in the mirror and do some of that. Like, at least start with, if you can't, because looking self eye to eye is a confident self esteem practice, building practice, right? So if you are feeling low and not really connected to yourself, start with just 2-3 seconds, to look yourself in the eyes and say, hey, how you doing today? That literally took me like 2.5 seconds to do, right? But I just acknowledged myself and I looked myself eye to eye and I gave myself some validation, some sight, right? I was visible to me. I inquired of self, like I cared about me to ask, so just those quick check-ins you can do. And as you get strengthened in that practice, you can spend more time with yourself, up to 2-3 minutes, doing affirmations and saying those I am statements and bringing that out, making sure that you're pouring into you all that you give out to others so that you can remain full, right? And energized and charged up. Again, you have to be full in order to serve that on to other selves from a good place. When we get depleted, we start to feel undervalued, right? Or underappreciated, but that underappreciation is often driven from us not putting enough appreciation onto self and expecting that energy to be returned to us from others because we're pushing it out to others, vice pushing it into self first. And that's not to say we don't serve others while we're serving self. We're still kind and compassionate and giving and helpful, lending a helping hand, being available and supportive and nurturing to them. But just make sure that you're at the top of that list. You and the Most High, and feeding into you and serving you and loving on you in the best way possible, being balanced and nurturing and recharging and getting grounded is how you serve yourself and serving the Most High at the same time, right? And as we become so full, the residual overflow is going to impact everyone and everything around you. So I hope you guys got something out of this late night mindful session, just something to think about as we wind down for the evening. Yeah, I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. I appreciate you for being here, for sharing this space. If this resonates with you, if you feel like it'll resonate with someone else that you care about and you want to pull their vibrations up as well, share the channel, like, subscribe. The spirit wants us as the wheat to recognize the tares in our life so that we can be strong and edified because we're called for good bread. Love you guys. Until the next time, Ashe.